Wait, how are we doing the degrees?
What are you on about?
My
Have
name
you forgotten how to do our own podcast?
Yes. My name's Jessica, and I have a bachelor's degree in equine studies.
And my name is Britty, and I have a bachelor's degree in film and television, and we're going to make a bad horse movie.
Welcome back to Cult Classics. We are back.
Back, baby.
Back, baby. I hope you missed us.
And every night you stroked the little picture on your pillow of the two of us and said, man, I can't wait for Cult Classics to come back on the first Monday of every month. I truly have been missing this. If you're not doing that, you're not a true fan, and you don't get exclusive access to the fan club. We do have t-shirts.
Oh boy.
We have t-shirts. We have merch.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. I'm like, I'm not even part of the fan club. But I am if we're talking about these shirts that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, the shirt you're wearing right now. You can go to pocketpodcastnetwork.com and find the shop that's got all of the merchandise for everybody. I will also make very specific t-shirts that says, I'm in a fan club of Britty and Jessica, and all I got was this stupid shirt. And at the bottom of it is a picture of our faces, but like rendered in 8-bit.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah. That's for the fan club exclusive, so I need evidence that you have the picture on your pillow and the Coltsmas little decoration. What's the word I'm looking for? Like where you like put the horses out every night?
Yeah. I don't know if we ever came up with the word for what that was called.
Yeah, I was gonna call it something that I don't think is even a word, so we're not gonna do that. So those two requirements and a kiss on the forehead.
To you specifically? From them?
Yes.
Okay.
Come to my house and give me a little smooch right here, right on my forehead. That's how you get in the club.
Don't come find me.
It's you pay your dues like that. Little smooch right here.
Oh gosh.
That's why nobody's in the fan club. Because who's gonna give me a little smooch on the forehead?
I mean,
all by myself.
Okay. Anyways, speaking of Coltsmas, I hope everybody enjoyed Johnsmas.
Yeah, that was certainly a thing.
A time.
And a half.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it, but wow, what a wild ride.
What a wild ride. I'm concerned John is going to try to take over our actual show now.
I will fight him.
We'll go to John's house, fisticuffs, and the winner gets to ride a horse.
And keep the show.
Oh, yeah, that too, I guess.
I can ride a horse whenever I want. I'm not going to fight John about that.
I can't ride a horse. I was hoping to gain the power to ride the horse by combat, like a magical journey.
I don't think that's how that works.
Oh man, I wish someone would have told me sooner. I would have stopped fighting people in parking lots. No, all right.
Anyways, you
you
have been on a horse.
I can sit on a horse. Yes, that is correct. I can't ride a horse.
I think
the last time I was on a horse, the last time that there's picture evidence, I was being led like a child at a circus.
Well, part of that was the horse and not necessarily you, because some horses are great like lesson horses, and some horses are not great lesson horses.
There's two categories of horse: lesson or you're gonna learn a lesson.
Yes, exactly. That is absolutely accurate.
That's what I know about horses. Yep. Oh, but what are we doing?
Okay, so anyways, we're recording a podcast.
We are, unfortunately, I think, for us. We are recording a podcast. Fortunately for you listening, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome to the chaos.
Oh, by the way, I feel like I should acknowledge this, now that this episode is going to come out in, like, less than a month from when we're recording this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a digital article on it yet, but there's a physical paper article about podcasting local to our community that features the Pocket Podcast Network, and both of our picture is in it.
Yeah.
So like,
see the back of my head.
You can see the back of her head and see the front of my face. And so I think that's important to acknowledge that we've got an article, not about us specifically, but like heavily acknowledged in this article. I actually was interviewed a couple months ago for this article because it was a continuation of a piece that was written in 2020 that I wasn't interviewed for, but I was mentioned in it about local podcasting. And at the time there was a bunch of different shows on the network than there are now, because that's the cool thing about our network is we evolve, and it's really, really neat. But the writer of it reached out to me and was like, I actually want to talk to you about this now that podcasting is different now, because a lot of the article talks about how podcasting exploded over the pandemic as far as creation. But in the article, both me and John, not our John, a different John, local to me John, talk about how listeners dropped off because there's less of a commute time, which is really, I would love to see the stats on it. Anyways, point of all of this being, if you're coming to our show from the podcast article, or you're coming to listen from the D&D show that I do, hi, welcome. We're related. We're sisters, and we make bad horse movies. Jessica knows about the horses. I know about the movies. And every episode, we make a new one. And it's fun and exciting. And at some point in my life, I will produce some of these because I think that they're hilarious. And I think they would be so fun to do. But they do cost money. And podcasting, it's free, baby. So
well, mostly.
Mostly free.
Mostly free.
It's free for you to listen.
That's
and
true.
I don't have to pay anything for props. I could be holding a prop right now and you wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't even know.
To be fair, so we're doing something a little different than what we're normally doing. Our recording setup's a little different. Normally you would actually be able to see if I had a prop because we would be filming in the studio. But we're not doing that right now. Just due to some circumstances, but we're making it work. We're making podcasting for you right now, here, live.
Into your ears.
Not live. It's actually pre-recorded. That is the point of podcasting, specifically.
We could do a live at some point if people
I would love
to.
I think it would be so fun to do a live show of our podcast because I think we could do something with intense audience participation. Basically, the audience writes the horse movie. I think that would be so funny.
That would be
I think we could totally do it. So, if you would be interested in a live show of our podcast, let us know. Send us a carrier pigeon and come give me a smooch on the forehead and say you would be great doing a live show.
You're gonna lose all our listeners. Keep talking about smooches on the forehead.
This is not a romantic smooch. This is a platonic, caring, intimate situation that you go, you're doing a great job, honey, and you give a little smooch on the forehead. I will reciprocate. I will also give you a little smooch on the forehead. We got dual forehead smooching. Every day I look at my customers and say, I would like to give you a little smooch on the forehead.
Do you?
No.
Do you really?
I don't.
You have very different customers than I do.
Okay, to be fair, I love working at the coffee shop I work at, and I would give several customers a smooch on the forehead. I have an adopted nephew, basically.
Oh. That's
because
cute.
There's just something about regulars and getting to know them and they're not,
for sure.
Mean to me because they genuinely like coming and they like what we do and they like our product. They like what we sell.
Right.
So absolutely. I have a little nephew that I don't even know if he would consider me in that category, but he has colored so many pictures for me specifically. He's been like, this one is for Britty. I've hung one up on the fridge in the back where we store all of our milk products. I was like, we're putting this up. We're putting a magnet up, putting this up because this picture for all of us, our shop nephew,
deserves to go on the fridge.
Exactly. Anyways, all of this to say, I think about it. I don't actually give anybody little smooches, but I think about it. Mental smooches.
Mental smooches.
That's what I'm doing. If you're listening right now, mwah.
That's
mwah.
fair.
That's the extent of, the consent that I'm being given. So.
Right.
Anyways, so we are doing something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But in a couple ways. Our recording setup is different, our structure is going to be a little different, and our energy is going to be different because we haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we hopped in for the beginning of what turned into John Smith's.
Right.
But it's still been a minute. Life's been a little crazy. I'm very excited to be back because I genuinely like doing this. Like, I specifically want to make sure that I try to figure out ways to schedule in podcasting. So that's part of the reason why our recording is a little bit different, just because my schedule is not really lining up with certain things. But it's okay. We're making it happen.
Like the studio availability.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's currently almost 9:00. I can tell you for a fact that Community Access Media is not open right now.
Yeah, no. They will not let us be chaotic night gremlins in their studio.
Can you imagine? Just roaming around
over.
We're going to record a podcast. Don't mind me. It's going to be called Horses.
Overnight in the podcast studio.
Oh, God. Can you imagine, though, a 24-hour podcast
my gosh.
They do with 48-hour theater and
Yeah.
you have to stay overnight?
Oh, man.
I don't think that would be good to listen to.
No.
At all. But that would certainly be something.
It would be something.
I'm gonna pitch that next time I'm in the studio.
We probably could talk for that long.
That's true. Which is wild considering that, we've known each other our whole lives and we haven't run out of stuff to talk about. Right?
Yeah.
You would think at some point we would be like, you know what? We know everything there is to know about each other. That's kind of it.
That's the funny thing about life is stuff keeps happening.
Well, certainly true.
So there's new stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Or we can come up with ridiculous horse movie ideas.
Yeah. It's in the article I said that this is basically an extension of something we've been doing our whole lives. Because it kind of is.
Yeah.
We've been storytelling together since we were able to talk, basically.
Gosh. Yeah.
So, but I think this is just a more structured version of it, where we're like, hey, very specifically, we are making a horse movie, right? Because I think about, all of the stories that we used to do together with us, with our other sister, with our cousins. We had stories, we had plays, we had movies, we had, all of it. So we'd run around in the backyard with sticks and be like, we're doing a thing. So this is much more professional. We are both professionals now.
Are we?
We've been written about in an article. We are professionals.
Okay. You're definitely a professional. I'm questionable, but it's fine.
I don't think there's any professional that isn't questionable.
Okay, fair enough.
If you're not questionable, you're too good to be true. There's got to be a little, as a podcaster, as a storyteller, there's got to be something a little off about you, or I don't trust you.
Okay, fair enough. So anyways, welcome back.
Welcome back to the chaos.
After that long reminiscing time, which was great and lovely. Good times.
Good times we had 15 minutes ago.
But yeah, so we're doing something a little bit new-ish, something different.
Yes.
And what are we calling this again?
This is a gift horse episode.
Cool. Gift horse episode. Don't look it in the mouth.
Don't think too much about it. But also, it's a gift horse episode because it's a gift for us, specifically. Do you want me to explain what we're doing, or you to explain?
No, I can explain. I just kind of zoned out there for a hot second. It's fine. Everything's good. Everything's great. I'm back. I'm here. Okay. So anyways, so normally what we would do is we would use the title generator and then we would kind of make the movie based off of the title. Yeah. We're kind of going the opposite direction, which I guess is the normal way that you make a movie.
Yes, correct.
With the concept first. But the concepts that we're pulling from are from things that people have suggested to us, whether they were from like a post on the internet or something that they overheard somebody say, or just an idea that they had. And so it's a gift to us because we don't have to come up with the concept. It was given to us.
Yes.
And we're just going to kind of flesh it out and turn it into a full on 3 Post-its in a binder movie concept.
Correct. We've got the first Post-it. We need to come up with the next 2.
Yeah. So can I share what we're doing for today then?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, this was shared, this was technically shared in our private Discord. However, if you would like to share an idea, a gift horse for us, if you will, join the community Discord for Pocket Podcast Network.
I'm going to make a channel right now while we're talking.
Okay.
It's called Gift Horse.
I forget how to join, but I'm sure the link is somewhere on some sort of page.
bit.ly/ppn Discord. Capital P, capital N, capital D, Discord.
Discord.
And you can join our Discord. What should I call this channel topic?
What do you mean?
Leave a suggestion for a gift horse episode. No one's gonna know what that means.
Oh. It's fine. They'll figure it out later.
Yeah, exactly. All posts on the internet are fair game.
It's true.
All right, and we'll save those changes, and people are not gonna know what this means. But I feel like I need to start saying stuff in the Discord right now, and then in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, people are like, that's what that means. Yeah.
So the one we have for today is a screenshot of a tweet from a user called @SoCactusSoOwl, which is literally like SO cactus SO, like the animal owl. So cactus so owl. And this is from way back in 2020, November 16th, 2020. And it says, someone in my Norwegian class didn't know the word for cowboys, so called them American horse pirates, and I've been laughing about it for about an hour.
It's such a solid concept.
It's accurate for the most part.
Okay. I have some. We talked about this before we started. I have some potential thoughts that I feel like don't quite. I get it, but also it's not accurate.
Okay.
Because I think the thing about it is, for me, there's 2 types of cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the actual cowboy, right? A boy who is a cow.
I was not ready for that.
That's not actually what I mean. I have a serious answer, but
now I feel like we gotta do something with that.
Drawfee Show already did. Shout out to Drawfee Show.
Okay.
No, a cowboy is somebody who herds cattle, right? Like, and there's a cultural filtering of it to, I think, where you could say, if you work with horses in some capacity, right, you're a cowboy, a cowgirl. Because I don't think that people that call themselves cowboys or cowgirls that ride horses are all cattle ranchers, right?
Right. It's still very much like Western, out on a big like farm, like working horse kind of deal. Because like you said, working with horses in some capacity, and I'm thinking of all of the English riders who would be like, I'm not a cowboy.
Right. No, well, that's exactly my point though. If like it's a what's the word I'm looking for? Where it is the work, the labor that you do in those settings.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite of the word industrial. I cannot think of it. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you farm, you are a farmer, or you do provide some kind of, input to the community from what you create in that rural setting. To a degree, like, I think there's a societal classification of cowboy where you just try to take on the aesthetic of it. Modern, right? Modern classification.
Right.
But that's still all, like, one category. That is the, like, you are doing a thing with this title in a modern way that makes kind of logistical sense.
Right.
The other classification of cowboy is the movie trope of a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about westerns. We can talk about like, I think there's a difference between like old west style movies and like there's a lot of categories of western movies. They're not. Some of them don't involve horses at all. Some of them, that kind of range, right? But that's the thing about a cowboy in movies is there's a range of it. But typically, you don't apply the title cowboy to, like, a bandit, right? And I feel like that's the equivalent of a pirate, is a bandit. Land pirate equal bandit.
Well, okay, so here's a question, though. Like, would you consider, like, do pirates ever work by themselves?
I don't think so, because I think at that point you're just a criminal, right?
Which is what a bandit is. So I feel like I can see the correlation to pirates in the fact that cowboys, don't go out by themselves. Like when you're a working cowboy, and you are doing stuff, like you've got to have at least 3 other guys with you because there's a lot of things to handle. Like, I mean, I'm not an expert. But as far as I understand, cowboys travel in packs.
What are the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the nature documentary of the cowboy. But but I don't think bandits are purely individuals, because I'm thinking of like the bandits that would rob train cars. If we're talking about Old West movie, right?
Yeah.
You have a roving team of bandits that are gonna rob an Old West town.
Yeah.
They're gonna come on through and the sheriff's gonna come out and we're gonna do a shoot 'em up. Right? And that would be the American horse pirate. Right? And the thing about it is, so piracy typically was in response to some kind of like government regime, right? So like a pirate is gonna say, hey, I hate your navy and I'm going to actively seek out to destroy it. And so I'm going to do things that are going to destroy that in a way that is slightly above just common criminal nature. But you've commandeered some kind of vehicle, right? This ship is wasn't originally yours. You stole it. You stole a ship. And then you're going to go, if we're talking even classic pirate, right? Pirates of the Caribbean pirate. Well, I don't actually know because I've never watched the movies, but I know enough, right? But that style of, okay, search Treasure Island, right? We're searching for buried treasure.
Right.
Being a pirate is all about riches. And so you're going to swoop on into an unprotected town and take all their gold and then leave. So that's piracy in a broader sense. That's not historical piracy for sure. Historical piracy was more about like sticking it to the man on a certain level, because you're stealing from those government caches essentially. Among other things, there were certainly tons of pirates that were just bad people. So it's not like pirates are. They were doing the right thing even though the government was against. Like, yeah, absolutely, pirates are bad people. But I think there's a certain level of, like, they weren't necessarily just being like, we're gonna go light a town on fire because we're bored. So I don't feel like that's completely accurate for bandits either. Because again, we're talking specifically about movie tropes. None of this is historical.
Right.
Please, for the love of God, none of this is historical. We're a movie making podcast.
Yeah.
So we're referencing movie tropes. I feel like bandits, a lot of the time, are out for revenge. They're gonna, just really cause a ruckus because they want to, and they need to show who's the boss, and
right.
it's like there's no true driving force
right.
of that. So I don't feel like bandits are completely accurate. So I feel like if you were to do American horse pirates, a land pirate, first of all, pirates really implies water.
Yeah.
But I will forgive that if we're just talking about the equivalency.
Right.
There needs to be a group, there needs to be a leader,
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be a reason that they're going about this thing. Maybe there is some buried treasure. I feel like buried treasure is a huge thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're really going to one-to-one the tropes, a buried treasure, which you could totally do. Listen, we're talking about Old West. We're talking about, like, the frontier and the expansion. And so you got the gold rush. You've got all those little western towns that are kind of disconnected from everything. Really easy to be like, and in this mine, we found the treasure of the ancient gold. I don't... I'm trying not to... The problem is, I'm trying not to, like, be unrealistic. Because I was about to say...
From the ancient gold.
I was trying not to say aliens. Because that's a whole other movie.
Yeah, well, okay, so I have...
Okay, there's a real movie that's Cowboys and Aliens, I think, with James Bond in it.
Probably.
It's not actually James Bond. It's
right.
Daniel Craig.
Right.
Yeah, I love that movie. It was so stupid. It was, but like Daniel Craig, 110%.
Right.
He was like, I am a cowboy, and I am encountering these aliens, and this is weird, but fine. I was like, thank you, Daniel Craig.
So, I've had a few thoughts. I don't know if I'm going to remember all of them, because that's how my brain works. I know that we make bad horse movies.
Yes.
But you were talking about how pirates, like some pirates... like, historically were, like, doing things, like, weren't causing chaos just because they were bored. Like, they literally had, like, a plan and a motive and, like, a reason that they were doing what they were doing and, like, trying to, what'd you say? Like, stick it to the man or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the era that you're talking about and the area that you're talking about specifically, but I'm trying to, like, see if I can find anything that kind of goes into my point, because the thing about it too is, like, piracy has always been a thing, right? So it's not just, but I'm thinking specifically of the time period that we use a lot in, like, movies and things,
right?
So it's a lot of it was also during the time of, like, colonial expansion too, so it was just kind of, there was so much happening that it was a great time for that to happen, because there wasn't a ton of, I don't know, oversight of things. But it's just a lot of, like, getting there first sometimes. Okay. You know? And because there's so many, there truly is, like, a bunch of different ways to do piracy. So I'm thinking of historically, like, when you would get people that would, like, defect essentially from the Navy and be like, actually, this is the worst, and I'm gonna be a pirate now. So that's more of what I'm thinking. And so, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of different reasons you could be a pirate. But specifically, like, if we're talking within the movie realm, I feel like it is, even if we use, like, a really classic, like, Treasure Island, right? Their goal, the pirates, in the actual story, the goal is to find the actual mythical buried treasure of Flint, right? To be like, this is the big one, and we also accidentally kidnapped a child, and this child is going to tell us where it is. Right? Yeah, right. That's the plot of the actual story. But the the story within the story is that before that, Captain Flint had just plundered and plundered and plundered and plundered and gotten so many riches, and then was like, and I've hidden it forever. Good luck.
Yeah.
So I think that's like such a great little touchstone for like classic literature piracy.
Uh-huh.
Of being like, that's so we're taking the nuance out, and we're saying pirates are all about finding the treasure.
Okay.
Their goal is to get more treasure.
Well,
I think there's now, like, if we move forward a little bit, there's more of a tendency for media to lean towards pirates being wronged by authority, and this is the way that they can respond to that situation. And not to turn this into a movie podcast, but I think that a lot of that is just due to a reflection of the times that the media is created in. So I think, pirate movies, even stemming from 2009 or something like that, when Pirates of the Caribbean came out, they become a reflection of the times that they are created in. And I think that there is a time now where we are thinking about what those in authority are truly telling us, and wanting to find out more, and not knowing how to respond to certain situations. I think a lot about like how there are certain like activists who saw what was going on and saw that there was no like government response to stuff, and said, hey, we're going to do it ourselves. They aren't criminals, but they are certainly like taking power into their own hands. And I feel like that is very similar to how a lot of that kind of media, like pirate media, is nowadays. And also, people love a sword fight.
People do love a sword fight.
Love a sword fight.
So the thought that I had was that Robin Hood's not really a pirate, but you said something that made me think of Robin Hood, and I was like, I think I would love to watch a movie about a group of cowboys that go around Robin Hooding.
Oh, yeah.
Like, stealing money from, like, government buildings or whatever to, like, pass out, or, like, food or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like...
No, I'm into that.
I feel like that would be really fun.
Robin Hood is a really great example of a way that media takes a group that historically would be considered the bad guys and kind of twists your perspective of being like, oh wait, what if they were doing it for the right reason? And it's one of those ways to be like, hey, there is no black and white.
Yeah,
everything's in shades of gray. But I really like that, because I think that would be fun for media, because that makes slightly more sense to me as why cowboys specifically, not bandits, right? Cowboys would be the equivalent of American horse pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that concept, especially if we do, the Wild West, and use that as the touchstone for it. The thing that I find really interesting about West, like the Wild West, that period of time, is, as far as I can understand, I saw this on the internet a really long time ago, so don't fact check me on this, but as far as I understand, that period of development of America lasted for less time than the genre has existed.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Western movies have been going on for longer than the time that we had in Wild West. Which is insane to me. We took a period of time, American filmmakers, and said, this one I like.
I feel like there's been a few of those, though. Like, people
for sure,
latched onto certain time periods as something that they enjoy as, like, a movie.
Any period of exploration or unrest, we said, this is a movie. This one could be a movie.
Yeah. The only thing that I would worry about with setting it in, like, expansion times is... Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there wasn't necessarily... like
government buildings to steal from.
Yeah, well, I feel like I don't feel like there was this like looming presence of like government, like you had the town sheriff, and I'm sure that there probably was like a government but it wasn't like overbearing. Like,
I think that's the reason why people like making movies in that time period is because you're basically making like a little microcosm and you don't have to necessarily worry about a larger thing.
Right. So this is probably would be really, I don't know how this would go, but like, what if it was slightly more modern and they were literally like, instead of using cars and stuff, they were just riding horses around so that they could steal out of government. I'm thinking specifically of like, what is it, Fort Knox in Tennessee that has all the gold in it or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. How modern are you thinking? Because I have an idea, but it depends on what you say.
Well, I'm up for any ideas. Like, I didn't have anything like particular in mind. Just like the government forts or wherever the like places are, the vaults that they keep the like gold and stuff in. So it has to be after that was made, obviously.
Because I'm thinking if we said it today, right?
Okay.
Like, we're making this right now. The time period is now, and we're making this movie now. I think it would be really interesting to give the reasoning that these Robin Hood are on horses is because there's no GPS installed in them. Like, they can't be tracked.
They can't be tracked. Okay. I thought you were also gonna say because gas prices are too high.
Also that.
I saw so many people talking about that when the gas prices went up.
Yeah. Listen, if I'm paying $5 a gallon, I will pay for $5 a hay square.
$5 a hay square. Oh my gosh.
I don't think it's not $5 for a bushel?
A bale?
Thank you. I got the first letter right.
You were close. There are bushels of other things that you can get for horses, but
oh great. Okay, cool. I was in the ballpark.
Yeah. You know, this as a side note, I honestly would love to do a cost comparison of horse versus car. Because I feel like it's honestly actually kind of comparable. Because, like cars, like, I don't know, maybe it's not. Like, cars are expensive and there's maintenance, but, like, horses also have really expensive maintenance. And they eat every single day instead of, you know, gas every 3 weeks.
I think it would depend on the horse you have and the car you have.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be really curious. Maybe if it was like an average.
Right.
Like an average of like horse owners and an average of car owners in a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me pitch you this.
Okay.
What if these cowboys are also internet pirates?
Okay.
So they're dual wielding their piracy. They're stealing real money and then they're stealing digital money.
Oh, are we cryptocurrencying this now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I hate it.
But no, okay, what they're doing is they're siphoning off the value and then they're shutting it down.
Okay.
I don't know how crypto works.
I don't either.
I assume it's like a vampire where you can suck teeth into it and get all the money out of
That's a different movie. Crypto Vampires is a different movie.
I want to suck your Bitcoin. I don't like that. I hate that, actually.
Oh, man.
It's really bad.
That's in the 99-cent doll movie bin.
That's the one that a student made in school.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
American Horse Pirates.
Okay.
I feel like we lost the thread a little bit.
Yeah.
I love Robin Hood. I love Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about modern or not.
Okay. Because I was like, not to make it like too like hit you in the face, but I was reading something about like a story that somebody had written about like a superhero that was using their powers to like help like homeless people and like the backlash that came off of it. You know, obviously it was fake, but they were like imagining like what would happen. And so I was like, so that's kind of present on my mind of like, if they're Robin Hooding, I mean, Robin Hood literally gave his money to the poor, which, you know, typically, like, there's poor people who do have houses, but also, like, a lot of times when you're homeless is because you don't have enough money to have a house.
Yeah.
And so, like, something to do with that, but I don't know. I don't have much farther than that.
I feel like we're getting reverse pirates here. We're not stealing anything. We're just kind of like giving things.
No. I would say like stealing money from somewhere so that they can like build houses for homeless people or something like that.
Okay, here's my question.
Yeah.
How close do we want to stick to the concept of pirates?
I mean, I guess we don't have to stick too super close. Like, I'm literally, like, in my head now, what it's turned into is, like, Robin Hood, but as a pack. Instead of
Robin
Hood
was a pack, though. That's the thing. Robin Hood and the Band of Merry Thieves.
Oh, see, I only know the Fox from Disney, and
yeah, he had a crew. He had Little John.
I just remember mostly him, and like the one scene that's always in my head is where he's like dressed as the beggar, like trying to get the coins from the guards or whatever.
No, the original, as far as I remember, the original story is Robin Hood and he had a band of thieves.
That makes sense.
The most well-known one out of them is Little John, who was really big. That was the whole kind of idea. But yeah, so it was a roving band of bandits.
Mm-hmm.
And that was I think the appeal of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think absolutely. Okay, Robin Hood, but on horses in America, right? And I feel like we got to figure out what time period we're doing.
Yeah, that's what's hard. Like, where were there poor people who needed help?
Everywhere, every time. That is America.
That's true. I feel like maybe this is more in like stories and stuff that I read, but I feel like I heard a lot more of like the community coming together to like help people who needed stuff, or like really tight-knit communities in the like Old West. Like everybody knew everybody, and like if there was
for sure.
So like
because you couldn't go anywhere,
right?
If you decided to be like, this is we've got our covered wagon, and now this is where we're at, and this is our home now forever, because there is one store that gets a train delivery every week, and there's one sheriff, and there's one bar, and we got to know everybody. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is part of it. But I also think that there's like something to be said about maybe a little bit further along in the development when the towns were a little bigger.
Okay.
I don't know enough about Wild West.
I know.
Western expansion.
I'm literally like, what about, what if we went all the way over to California where there was lots of people? Oh, we could. Okay, because that's the gold rush. That was my thought, was gold rush. And I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, I was not a big history person, so I don't remember a whole lot of history things. But I think I actually remember reading a story about how when the gold rush happened, like obviously there wasn't technology to like communicate things. And so a lot of people went for like jobs and stuff, and then there ended up not really being a whole lot there because there were so many people and there wasn't enough like opportunities for everybody.
Yeah. I think that gives us some insight into like, if some corrupt organization that's spearheading the gold mining is hoarding it somewhere and not telling anybody that they have it, right? We could do a whole. So I think if I was to do a movie, I would kind of take my vision and refine it a little bit to one event, right? Instead of just like they just kind of go around doing the thing. They are going for this one specific instance of, we've got to liberate this gold. Right. Essentially.
So, at risk of angering my history friends, I'm going to take some creative liberties with history. This is a historical fiction.
It's a fiction. Yeah, it's a fictional movie. Calm down.
Listen, there are still people who get upset about like if the what actually like happened in the history is wrong, even though whatever like characters you've placed are already non-existent.
Already wrong. Yeah, no, listen, I know this. I'm on the internet. I'm aware. I saw somebody complaining about the new show, the 90s show that's based off of that 70s show.
Yeah.
I saw someone complaining that the props were not period accurate.
Oh.
They were like, this Dorito bag is from this century.
Oh.
I'm like, calm down.
Okay.
It's if it breaks your suspension of disbelief that bad, you should not be watching the show.
Yeah.
Like, not to turn this into a movie podcast, but I think we have, as a society, have lost the ability to suspend our disbelief, and I think we need to get that back.
Yeah.
We need to watch a piece of media and be like, wow, that was fun, and not watch it and be like, I don't believe you. Everybody needs to log off, go to the theater, and sit there and enjoy the story being told, because you know, when you go to theater, you know you are sitting in a seat watching actors do a show. They're using a box as a chair. You're aware of this.
Right.
And then you need to take that mentality and apply it to the movie.
Right.
Be like, I know these are performers on screen, but am I enjoying the story and having a good time?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Excellent.
Let me get off my soapbox.
I will join you another time. For sure.
It just irritates me because it's
yeah.
like, it's all make-believe.
Yeah. So suspend your disbelief with us here, listeners.
Yes, please.
So we're in the gold rush, and there is a company that is hoarding all of the gold, but they're doing it, in secret, obviously. Mm-hmm. So one of the people who went to work there figured out that the company was mining, I don't know, twice as much gold as what people thought that they were getting. So, like,
they have a secret, like, mine entrance.
Yeah. And so this person found this out and was like, I can't stand for this because there's people in our community who are struggling and some of them aren't employed right now. And this is just terrible. And so, so I was like, I feel like since they've got the insider knowledge, do they start the horse pirates or do they just join the horse pirates with their insider knowledge? I feel like they would start the horse pirates. Like, is this an inciting incident or is this like it happens at some point?
How powerful do we want these horse pirates to be?
It's a good question. Well, I guess my question is this an origin story or not?
Yeah, I feel like the thing about, like, Robin Hood is we never really truly see the origin story.
Okay.
And I don't think it's interesting.
Right.
Because I think it's more interesting to have a character or a group of characters that people in authority are frightened of because they've already established themselves so heavily. Mm-hmm. And I'm also thinking of, like, again, I'm trying to equate this to pirate media, and I know some of the more recent pirate media, we kind of start the show or the movie with the crew already there. Now, we might make some evolutions to the crew.
Right.
The captain might change, or some of the crew members might change, but we give a sense of, like, ensemble before we even start the story.
Right. Okay, so if we go with that, then I'm going to say this guy that works for the gold mining company, like, if you really want to play it up into the historical, like, movie tropes, is like his some family member of his is sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they're struggling.
It's Tiny Tim.
So they're struggling, and then he finds out that this corporation is being terrible, awful people, and he's heard rumors of the horse pirates. And the myth, the legend is that if you meet them at the orange tree that grows on top of the tallest cliff at midnight on March 2nd,
Wow, they only have one meeting day?
Okay,
taking one client a year?
The full moon.
Okay, that's slightly better, I guess.
You meet them at the full moon.
Yeah.
They will listen
I just need a scene where the leader of this horse pirate group goes, how did this even start? Who started this? I mean, like, yeah, sure, we can keep this up, but we're not werewolves.
Fine, do you want it to be the new moon so it's under the cover of darkness?
No, I just think it's really funny because I think you're right. I think the idea of like a legend being created of how you get in contact with these people that might solve your problem but are also criminals is totally fine and fair.
Uh-huh.
But I do think it would be really funny if they were like, who started this? who started this rumor? Why?
The previous captain was a werewolf.
Oh, we're getting into real fiction real quick. I like it. I'm into it. No vampires, werewolves only.
No, not the previous captain, the original captain, the one who started it all.
Started the group of
yes,
horse pirates.
Yes,
got it.
Was a werewolf.
That somehow makes sense.
They were shot with a silver bullet to the heart, so that's why they aren't alive anymore.
If we're going to talk about somebody disenfranchised, I think a person who would be shunned by the community for being an outsider is the like perfect person to start the group.
Perfect.
Oh my god, okay. I feel like I know that you made this as a joke, but I do really think that if that was the origin story, you could write that into the movie without making overt references to it, because it's one of those things where it's like you could have that be like the undertone, and until you say it out loud, it's just something that people will be like, I think the story is telling us that the creator of this group was a werewolf, but there's no physical like evidence of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of like how it took like ages, and then the director of Blade Runner was like, oh yeah, the main character is a replicant. Harrison Ford's character, I can't remember his name, is like a replicant, but it's never explicitly stated, but there's a couple like little hints that we gave. And then I think technically that was retconned, because like it wasn't officially in the movie, but I think it got retconned with the Blade Runner new one, 24905. I don't know what
3,277.
I don't know what the Blade Runner movie is. I haven't seen it. I just know Ryan Gosling looks sad in it. That's all I know about that movie.
Excellent.
Anyways,
that's all I need to know.
The point being, I think it would be really funny if that was like our headcanon for it, right? And so we like write the movie with lines of dialogue that insinuate this, and like there are references to it in the set design, but it's never explicitly stated.
Yeah. So like, werewolves could exist or do exist in this universe, but it's never said outright. It's just like a...
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. That's amazing. I just love it because it doesn't affect the plot at all. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
So our dad.
Our dad?
With his sick...
Our dad?
No.
Jim Bob?
No. You said Tiny Tim, then it's a dad.
I mean, who else is it gonna be? I guess a sick wife is also a possibility. I was just thinking of like, it's all right, I'm not ill.
Oh yeah. Right.
I'll be fine, Papa. Go work in the mine for 14 hours. You'll also be fine.
That's getting scary.
Isn't that though like what it was?
Yeah, something like that.
There was no unions or OSHA back then.
Yeah. Okay, so Dad meets with the horse pirates, which I feel like we need to come up with a cooler name for them.
Pirates.
No, I hate it.
I mean, like they're gonna be the something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers. Nope, that's taken.
Yeah. No.
The Revengers.
I feel like I would love to have something like that gave a nod to like Robin Hood.
I mean, I think it's literally Band of Merry Thieves.
Right.
But let me just double check.
Were they in?
That's a mouthful.
Were they the one that was in Sherwood Forest?
Yes, correct.
Because you could do Sherwood something.
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, excuse me, Merry Men.
Ah,
I forgot that was Merry Men.
They're not thieves. So, they're men.
They're just guys.
Just a guy.
It's just a guy.
It's just a guy.
It's just a guy.
Why are you so scared of him, police officer? It's just a guy.
Why is he scared?
Why is he scared, Sheriff?
It's just a guy.
It's just a guy.
The TikTok sound if I've ever heard one. Yeah, Sherwood would be good.
You could do Robin. Something Robin.
The thing about Robin is the way our vernacular works in 2023 is it just feels like I'm robbing you.
I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, what? Is that why his name is Robin? Because he was robbing?
Don't think so.
Robbing in a hood?
I mean, maybe, but we're talking about these ballads are from, like, the 13th century.
I don't know. Shakespeare did cool things.
Yeah, but language has evolved.
Well, that's true.
Let me see what... we're on thesaurus.com. My favorite site. Did you know that wolves is also a synonym for flirt?
What?
I didn't know this either.
I disagree.
I do think it would be funny if this band was called the Heartbreakers, though. Because it's like the thing about the word heartbreaker is it's like a step removed from Skull Crusher.
That's true.
It's like really good.
That's true. However, like, I don't know, like, I feel like, so Robin Hood and his Merry Men was like, just kind of like a really not generic, but like kind of, it's kind of neutral. Like, they weren't, like, trying to strike fear into the to the ears of anyone who heard their name. Like,
sure.
But, like, it's still, I don't know, it has to be something interesting. Let's put a pin in that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be worth continuing.
Yeah.
I think, because I think the thing about it is, like, unless it's something that we can do, like, the I don't know, the Moon Gang or something that's like full moon guys.
No, all of that is bad.
I'm just looking at synonyms for pack. Band, crew, crowd, flock, gang, horde, mob.
Well, what are
company,
pirate? Like, was it just individual pirates that had names, or did pirate crews have names?
I don't know if they historically had names, but I think they have names in narrative fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Whisper Bandits. This is from a pirate crew generator.
Okay.
Name generator. Because you know I gotta get on a generator.
We gotta get on a generator at least once in these episodes.
At least once.
This podcast.
How do we feel about? I mean, this is obviously not what we're going for, but like black squid pirates, pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Plunderers of the lost treasure.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty good. This pirate crew name is just the Lost Pirates.
They just never know where they're at.
They don't know what's going on. They do have at least one treasure chest full of gold, but they don't know what's going on.
No.
Let me see if I Google bandit crew names.
I was like, how, like, does this sound like an attempt at being modern if we called them the Sherwood crew? It feels like a rap gang.
Yeah, a crew is such a hard one.
I know.
Let's see. See, a lot of... this could be fun. Skeleton riders.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that powerful?
That is so cool.
Yeah. Can we just do that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Done.
I feel like it might not be like exactly what I was thinking originally, but it's very good.
It's very good.
Okay, so
we can always come back to this in the the next draft.
This is the working title for the pirates, the horse pirates.
I think this should also be the name of the movie.
The Skeleton Crew?
The Skeleton Riders.
Oh, Riders, sorry. Not the Skeleton Crew. Skeleton
That's
Crew
a different...
is a totally different thing.
That's a different movie.
I feel like that would be a good movie title, though. The Skeleton Crew.
The Skeleton Crew? That's my animated movie about just skeletons who get up to nonsense in the caves.
But there's only 3 of them.
There's only 3 of them, and somehow they're constantly losing their limbs. Just like, run around, and then they're like, my head fell off.
Mm.
I like calling the movie The Skeleton Riders.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's super fun. I also, not to derail too much from our actual podcast, but I just had a thought that I feel like would be fun to do if we ever wanted to, of like taking an episode that we've already done and doing another draft, quote unquote.
Oh,
of it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. If people have like episodes that they really like, that they'd like
Right.
to see us take a round two to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could bring an actual scriptwriter into the room with us.
Oh my goodness.
I do know those.
Pressure.
Well, but we already have the bones of it, so I think
That's
going
true.
in and being like, this is the next version of this script that we're creating would be super fun.
Yeah, I'd be here for it.
Okay, cool. Anyways, you heard it here first. I have ideas sometimes. Yay.
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 Gold star.
So gold star for me. Little smooch on my own forehead. Okay, so the Skeleton Riders meet up with Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I want you to name him. I feel like I name characters a lot.
His name is Clarence.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I was trying to think of like old timey. I was torn between Terrence and Clarence, but I feel like Clarence is just enough of that like. Sorry, sirs. My name is Clarence, and me boy Tim. He's not doing so well.
Are we ripping off Tiny Tim?
Timothy. His name is Timothy. He never goes by Tim. He hates it when I say Tim. And he's very large for his age. He's not little at all.
Big Tim.
Big
Timothy.
This is my son, Big Timothy. He's very ill. And I know that the company could be paying me more because they're hoarding the gold. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make things right. And then the leader of the crew is like, you want to steal the gold? Got it.
Yep.
Done. Oh, no, sir. That's not what I meant. But I guess OSHA's not here to stop me, so. I don't know why OSHA would be the one to stop the thievery, but...
Yeah, no.
Old-timey OSHA also makes me laugh.
You just like fake OSHA.
I love fake OSHA. Because, let me just say this, there's a really funny Tumblr account that's like official OSHA 2 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And it's the funniest Tumblr account I think I've ever seen in my life. I love fake OSHA. I love real OSHA. Let me be perfectly clear. I also love real OSHA. But the thought of OSHA existing in a time that it doesn't need to exist in is very funny to me. Mm-hmm. In this time period, OSHA is just the box that holds the canary. This is my little canary named OSHA.
I think though...
Why did that send you so bad?
This is my canary named OSHA.
That's the next movie we need to write. Instead of a horse called Bear, it's a canary named OSHA.
Oh my god.
It's actually a documentary.
Oh, no.
I don't know why that's sending you so bad.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure that they didn't actually mine gold underground.
No, but in my head,
canaries.
no, but in my head, there's only one type of mine, and it's a coal mine, apparently.
Now I want to just like, if we're going wrong, we might as well go all the way.
So wait, what you're saying is put the werewolves back in.
Yeah, and we mine gold underground the same way that we mine coal. And there's a canary named Osha.
This is turning into like a weird, like, just Seth MacFarlane comedy, and I hate that. That's not the style of movie that I want to make.
I mean, kind of enjoying that it's turning into something really funny, though, because we were getting really serious.
Listen, we make bad horse movies here.
This is a chaos podcast. There's a canary named Osha.
I think we've mentioned a horse once in this entire episode.
Oh, what if the horse's name is Osha?
My canary is named Osha. You can't name your horse Osha. You can name your horse Union. This is not a good movie. But I'm really into it. I feel like this very much fits with American horse pirates. Right? I think at this point, one of the horse pirates, one of the skeleton riders is most certainly a werewolf. Because they just, like, leave at certain points and just come back, like, with ripped clothing, like, hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Just had a little fight with a bear.
It's all good. I had a little snack. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Everything's fine. So they're never there when they have the, like, meetups with their potential clients.
With their clients.
They just come back later and they're like, oh yeah, this is Fred. He can't make the meetings, but he's great.
We like him.
We like him. He's really strong for some reason.
Yeah. He doesn't have to ride a horse. He just runs alongside us. He's really fast. Fred the werewolf, I'm in love. God, this is so stupid.
Wait, should his name be Fred or should it be Robin? Because I really want somebody named Robin.
I mean, I think the leader should be named Robin.
Oh, okay.
I think the werewolf's name is Frederick.
Ah, yes.
You know? Okay, so...
Wow.
Let me reiterate what we have so far.
There is no plot. There is just chaos.
No. There's a plot. There's absolutely a plot. You came up with an excellent plot.
Oh, well, thanks.
So here's how this movie goes.
There's no resolution. That's what I was thinking of.
They steal the gold. Mm-hmm. They distribute the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Big Timothy is fine now, and Clarence never has to work in the mines again.
He gets excellent medical care.
Yeah. They decide to move to New York City, and
that's not better.
I mean, they go and work in the factories. They're like, this is gonna be better than the non-regulated mining we're doing.
Oh my gosh! No, I think they should join the Skeleton Riders.
Absolutely done. And then the Skeleton Riders are like, we should go to New York City. I heard there's an industrial revolution happening. I feel like we need to be over there.
Save some children from child labor.
Yeah, this is our horse union who's gonna help us solve the problems. This is not a good movie. Okay. Here it is. I'm gonna try to do this simple. We start the story. Clarence is working in the gold mines under the ground with his canary named Osha. Mm-hmm. Right? And his son, Big Timothy, is very sick. Mm-hmm. So he goes under... I don't know if California has orange trees. I think they have lemons?
I thought they had oranges.
I thought oranges was Florida.
I thought it was both.
Well, it goes under a citrus tree.
Okay.
I don't.
California native citrus tree.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Listen, I don't need anybody to listen to this podcast and give us actual facts. We are too stupid for that. We need to not have facts to have a good show. So, like, them's the facts. Please don't come for us.
Don't come on our podcast.
They've been on our podcast one too many times. You've leached all of the education out of the show, and we're now no longer able to know real facts.
Yeah.
Okay. So Clarence and his canary
Mm-hmm.
are working in this mine under the ground to get gold.
Did you just bring the canary with him everywhere?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Like on a little belt pouch.
Okay.
And no, it's in the not about loop on this, like, you know, because they had canary cages that were specifically for
right. Yeah.
oxygen stuff. Anyways, okay, I gotta go back.
Sorry.
We gotta start over. Clarence works in the gold mines under the ground with his canary named Osha. His son, Big Timothy, is very sick.
Mm-hmm.
He's so sick that Clarence goes underneath the California native citrus tree on a full moon and waits for the skeleton riders to appear. They appear. They go, "What's the prob, Bob?" He goes, "My name is Clarence." And then he says, "I know that my boss of this mining gold company is stealing gold. We are making twice as much as we are being reported on." And they go, "All right, we're going to steal the gold. Great." And Clarence goes, "Not my intention, but okay." And then big adventure, big heist sequence with horses and heisting and Frederick the werewolf. They heist the gold. And then they heist the gold. They're like, huzzah! They distribute it amongst the people, and Clarence and Big Timothy are comfortable now, and Big Timothy is no longer ill. And then Big Timothy and Clarence join the Skeleton Riders, who then say, maybe we should tackle the issues in New York City and the Industrial Revolution. I don't know if this time period is correct, but we also have a werewolf here, so I don't know if it matters. And that's the movie.
Oh my gosh. The Skeleton Riders.
We've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes.
I'm so sorry.
I love how our intention was to be like, we don't have to do a lot. This is already made for us. It wasn't.
We got deep into the semantics of what constitutes a pirate versus a cowboy, so...
We got into the lore.
If you stuck around to the end to make it to the chaos, I'm very, very glad, because we might have lost a couple people along the way there.
Kiss on the forehead. Okay, so yeah, the name of the movie is Skeleton Riders.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's the movie.
That's the movie. Should we put Daniel Craig in it?
Yeah! Daniel Craig is the werewolf.
I was gonna say, is he Frederick?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Because I do really think it would be funny if he walked up like, "Hey guys."
Oh yeah, what's up?
Because Daniel Craig doesn't strike me as the like, "Hey, what's going on?" And so I think it would be fun.
It'd be a test of his acting skills.
Yes. Give me that range.
Yeah.
Although I'm told that his range is very much exhibited in the Knives Out series.
Oh, well, that's good. Good for him.
Yeah. Good for Daniel Craig. Come be on our movie, please.
Oh my god.
We have a very compelling pitch. I think you should join our movie. Okay.
Well,
did we do it?
I think we did. I think that's a cult classic named The Skeleton Riders.
Excellent. Well, thank you for listening. We are part of the Pocket Podcast Network, which has a lot of great shows on it. Mm-hmm. If you're not listening to Pokemakers, they started season 2, and they're kicking off. They're doing great. Green Mountain Mysteries is also really rocking and rolling. They had some great guests recently, some pretty solid guests. Mm-hmm. And then I believe by the time this episode comes out, Tia and Rio Save the World should be back on the airwaves, which may not be for our primary audience, but if you are someone who likes something a little darker, a little edgier, same group of people that like Green Mountain Mysteries are going to like Tia and Rio. Mm-hmm. So head on over to that. There's some range. Do recommend Pokemakers, though, if you like kind of what we're doing, but maybe a little less chaotic.
Yeah.
Slightly. Just a little bit.
You can find us on Instagram now. I don't know if we've plugged this yet on the actual recording of a regular episode, but we have an Instagram. Woo!
Yay!
It's the same handle as our Twitter and our Facebook at Cult Classics PPN. So find us Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the places.
All of the places. We're going to be trying to post more clips from the show so that you can share it a little easier on those platforms. And I don't know, maybe we should get some selfies with horses.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can.
We might need to schedule some time for you.
I need specifically horse selfie time in my calendar.
Or we could just test your Photoshop skills.
You know what? They're pretty good. I've been doing Photoshop for a long time. I think they're pretty good.
Okay.
Thank you to Jason Shaw of Audionautics for the use of our intro and outro music.
And that's a wrap.
Straight from the horse's mouth. The gift horse's mouth.
The gift horse's mouth. Thanks for listening.
Disclaimer. The conceptual treatment of a motion picture created during the duration of this audio program is not intended to represent a presently published fictional narrative. The story, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred. Original concepts devised during the extent of the audio program are creative property of Cult Classics. Any usage of current or previous Cult Classic concepts outside of the aforementioned audio program must include appropriate acknowledgments by the utilizing party.
Pocket Podcast Network. Quality programming right to your pocket.